Well, this is pretty special. Hall of Fame jockey Edgar Prado, ninth in wins all time, career earnings just under 300 million, 7,119 starts, and a Kentucky Derby winner and friend. What's going on, buddy?
Thank you so much, Greg, for having me in your show. It's an honor to me to talking to the fans and giving my inside information about my experience on the Derby.
I know you rode in 12 derbies. You won one. You had some seconds and thirds. You won two Belmont Stakes. And you've had just one of the most incredible careers. Came from Peru, got on a horse at the age of 5. But before we do any of that, I want to take you back to your Kentucky Derby win. And I want to talk to you about the experience of riding undefeated Barbaro to a decisive victory, one of the biggest victories in the history of the Triple Crown. So I'm going to plow through this now. You see my screen. You see that horse right there? All right. Let's watch a little bit of this race, which is now 20 years old. This is the Kentucky Derby of 2006. Edgar Prado, my friend, and Hall of Fame jockey on Barbaro. Let's take a look here, Edgar, and we'll see what happens. All right. Here we go.
As you look at the head-on shot, going into the starting gate, you're going to look at post positions 3, 4, and 9. 3 key entry. 4 in the Kentucky Derby this year. And they are off in the Kentucky Derby.
What's that moment like when the latch springs open?
Well, it was very emotional, very exciting moment because the real challenge is reality now. I know that Barbaro have a quality, even proven through his previous careers, his previous races, but he's facing the toughest competitions that he faced before. And when he stumbled a little bit coming out of the gate, I said, "Oh shoot!" But then I was surprised that he bounced right back. And before I really picked him up, he picked him up himself, and he was right there, right behind the leaders.
How much does the start matter in the Kentucky Derby? Barbaro had never seen a field of 20 before. None of these horses have. How much more challenging does it make it, those first couple of strides in a field of 20 as opposed to a field of 8?
It could make it the difference between winning and losing. You know, if you have a speed and you break a little slow, then you can be behind traffic, you know.
Yeah.
And the horse that never had or received dirt on his face, maybe have a different challenge at the moment. Yeah. So it could change the whole.
You say that, yet your horse went down to his knees at the start. Maybe that was the best thing that could have ever happened to him, if you think about it, because had he started like everybody else, he could have gotten tangled up with the rest. So who knows? We'll never know. But I want to take you.
I think he was very versatile. He was very easy to ride. I think he only do what I asked him to do. I mean, he wasn't like a horse like he wanted to just go to the lead or want to be 1, 2, 3. If I want to sit down a little longer, he sit longer. He took the dirt very well that day. Thanks to Michael Matz and Peter, you know, they did a good job. And I think that moment or the hard work that Michael Matz and Peter put into,
that's the trainer,
yeah,
and then the assistant trainer. Edgar, I'm going to take you now to a little bit more than halfway through the race. Play this for a couple of seconds, and then we'll get to the decisive victory, and you can tell us what it felt like when you turned for home at the top of the stretch. This is on your way around the stretch. Looked like you had the leader had captured 3/4 of a mile in 1 minute 10 seconds, which is really fast. Let's just take a look here. You can see Barbaro currently not in the top 4, but you'll shortly hear your name.
Hold on for more run as they're on the far turn. There goes Sinister Minister. 3/4 in 10 and 4, and it's Sinister Minister. And here comes Barbaro. The undefeated Barbaro comes up on the outside.
All right, so you're right there at the top of the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you are just about to be in the lead. You're in 3rd place, and once you turn this corner, it's time to come home, right? And so I'm going to play the end here for you. Let's watch you win the Kentucky Derby. Are you ready, buddy? I'm assuming this never gets old. Is that right?
No, not for me.
Okay, here we go.
And he takes the lead as the field turns for home in the Kentucky Derby. Barbaro turns it on, and his stablemate showing up in second. Bluegrass Cat is third. Brother Derek putting in a late run on the far outside. Steppenwolfer is fifth. And Sweet Northern Saints sixth toward the rail, but they're coming to the finish, and it is all Barbaro in a sublime performance. He runs away from them all, and he has saved something left for the Preakness. Barbaro wins by 7. Bluegrass Cat was second. Steppenwolfer was third. Three-way photo for fourth. Jazzle Brother Derek, and showing up.
All right, man. What did that feel like to cross the finish line first?
Well, I think going to the quarter pole, had the feeling that you have so much horse underneath of you, and you don't even ask him to go. I think most of the jockeys want to have that feeling, that they feel something very strong and powerful underneath, without even asking. That's the way I felt that day. Before I even asking, I only showed the stick a little bit, and Barbaro put his ears up.
Yeah,
and said,
the stick is the whip, folks. For those of you that don't follow racing closely, so you just let that pass the eye, right? You let it pass the eye, and then he knew.
And he knew that it's time to go to business, and you can see what he did. I mean, he took off like a rocket, and he passed the wire by 7 lengths. And I think if I encourage him more, he could have won by father.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how much you could have won by, but I just want people to understand how close you and I are and how close we have been for so many years. I was at the track that day, and I was in seats that were pretty close to the track, but I didn't have any kind of credentials or secret access to anything. Yet when I saw you cross the finish line in first place at the Kentucky Derby, my instincts took over, and I leapt over a 12-foot wall onto the racetrack at Churchill Downs. As you are circling the racetrack, and I actually have the video right now, I'm going to share this because the people that follow me they already know that I'm kind of nuts. So this will confirm for them what they thought to be true. This is 20 years ago, Edgar. You can see you just won the Kentucky Derby. You're coming back around past the finish line again. You're waving to the crowd. And if folks can just look at the front of your horse, you'll see a lunatic jumping up and down. And that lunatic would be me. So let's go ahead and play this. And you'll see me very, very quickly here, Edgar.
Yeah.
I know you remember this.
I remember that.
And here he is to the.
You see that guy jumping up and down, Edgar?
Yeah, I remember that.
I see you looking at me, right? You're looking over towards me. Here we go. We'll finish this.
Cheers of the crowd. Well, you knew Michael Matz.
That's me running alongside you and Barbaro.
There's no feeling in the world like what Edgar Prado is feeling right now. That is just the best.
February after a long illness, and Edgar, I'm sure she was up there. February after a long.
Only thing we'll see you in the winter. That becomes a Jackson.
A little bouncing going on, but I was watching Michael Matz's
first Kentucky Derby was in the country.
It's out on race day.
Anyway, I ended up following you to the winner's circle. I had to cross over the track onto the grass, where they eventually noticed that I was a guy with no credentials, and they kicked me out, and I had to go back to where the normal people reside. But what a career that you had. You retired a couple of years ago, one of the winningest jockeys of all time. How big is the Kentucky Derby for jockeys?
Well, it's like winning the Super Bowl, the football World Cup. I mean, it's the top in your career. I mean, a lot of jockeys come here from different countries, and now Europe and South America, and they want to achieve this goal. They want to win the Kentucky Derby. Unfortunately, only full jockeys can achieve that, and the other ones just want to participate. That will be a great honor. I mean, when you travel to a different place, or you're in the airport, or you anywhere, and they find out you are a jockey, the first thing they ask you, say, "Did you rode the Kentucky Derby?" You say, "Yes, I rode." "Did you win it?" Yes. And when they hear that, the people really, say, "Oh my God, you rode the Kentucky Derby, you win the Kentucky Derby." So
Yeah.
And now in these days, there's so many other races. The British Cup is very important. The Dubai World Cup is very important. Saudi Cup is very important. But I mean, the first thing comes to all the fans and the horsemen, is the Kentucky Derby.
I have a question for you. So you're riding a 1,200-pound animal. You're going 30 miles per hour, sometimes 35 miles per hour, sometimes in these little crevices. And you had accidents. You fell. You broke many bones.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, you walked away completely intact. Just the commitment it takes to ride at a Hall of Fame level. What does that look like in terms of the work you had to put into training yourself every day to stay within weight, for instance, because you can't go overweight. You get weight after every race. If you're not at the right weight, you can have a purse taken from you. You can be disqualified. Just because my audience mostly is a mortgage audience, people in real estate, and we like to talk about leadership and greatness and what it takes to be great. And I think what you're about to say, I have no idea what it is, but I'm guessing it translates to any field. Give us a window into the commitment it took to be a Hall of Fame jockey.
Well, the commitment just come from the beginning of my career, when I decided or choose to be a rider. I just don't want to be one of the rest or one of the too many. I want to do the best or be the best that I can be, giving my best every time, try and learn from everybody and trying to assimilate everything. So when I come here, I was leading right in Peru, and they said, well, I'm leading right, so I want to take another step. I want another challenge. So I come here, and if I win 5, I want to win 6 next week. If I win 7, I want to win 8. If I win a title, I want to win another title. But and that prospect, you always have to think about it, that you don't become a champion. You have to think that you always be the challenger. You have to be wanting more, and you want to improve yourself, and take care of yourself for that challenge. Every time you go to ride, I mean, the people behind, the trainer, the owner, the hard worker, the groom, they give you the confidence in you that you can deliver it. So you have to prepare yourself mentally and physically. So you have to be ready to do the job. That's what they ask for you. If you one of many, they could pick somebody else. So if I win 1 today, next week I want to win 2, 3. If I go to winning titles, I want to win more. It's an ambitious thing to think. It's because you want to prove yourself and you want to be the best at the moment that you are.
Yeah, sure. So you're saying your mindset is to always think that you're being challenged, to never think you're the best, to always think that you're always chasing somebody else, right? Even if you're on top, because for several years you were the winningest jockey in the world. For several years you had more wins than any jockey on the globe, yet you still kind of lived in fear a little bit. Do me a favor before we say goodbye. Do you have any trophies around you? Are there any trophies in your house that you can show us? What did you do with all the trophies? All right, that's Barbaro. That's your trophy horse that won the Derby. But you have the ability to turn the camera around to hit that little button to flip it, or you don't have that ability.
This one?
See if you can flip. I'm tired of looking at your face. Let me see some trophies.
No, I don't have a trophy here. It's in New York.
No trophies there. I remember being in that house, and you had a little shelf right there to the right.
Yeah, when they
took them down. No, they're not there anymore, huh?
No, I got some things right here. I don't know how does you can flip them.
Yeah, just take the camera and just turn it around and show us what you're looking at.
No. Okay.
What do you got, buddy? Turn it around. Oh, what's that?
That's I won the Japan Jockey Challenge. That's the race from Maryland. That's the British Cup right here. 3 of them.
British Cup win. Yep.
George Wolf Award.
And that's for the most outstanding jockey?
Yeah. And this is my other trophies, but not all of them.
How many trophies do you think you won in your career?
I won like 536 states. And then back then they give you a trophy every time. So
536 stakes. That, folks, for those of you that don't know horse racing, that's the best of the best horses, like the upper echelon racing against each other. And you crossed the finish line first 536 times. That's amazing.
State races.
Stakes races, yeah.
Yeah. So grade 1 races, maybe 300.
You miss riding?
Absolutely. That's why I don't want to get on a horse right now, because if I do, I know myself. I try to come back to ride again.
And you can ride into your, like Mike Smith is in his 60s. He's a great rider. Right?
Yeah,
you're not even in your 60s yet. You could get back on a horse, and you're probably, I know you still work out, so you're playing at your game weight. Will you be watching the Derby Saturday?
Absolutely. I watch all the big races, you know. Actually, you can see I'm watching the races right now.
Oh, look at that. That looks like Aqueduct to me. You won many races there. Edgar, good talking to you, buddy. Enjoy the Derby.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Appreciate you, brother. It's good to talk to you.
Nice talking to you too.
All right, man. Hang on. Hang on the line here. Hang on the line. See you, everyone.